Okay, now it's time for the evaluation for P5. In this LP, I see that you have chapter 11, part B,
Yes.
soil composition and plant growth.
Yes.
Please start. What will you do next week?
Okay, in this part, we will going to learn about the composition of the soil. But before that, I have explained them about the type of the soils. And here now, we go to the composition of the soil. So before we go to the composition of the soil, I'm going to say or mention and explain about the difficult word that they will find from this page. They will have compositions, and then they have humus, and then fertilizers. Okay, the first one is compositions. Soil
Why
composition.
don't you go to page 160? Because this one until 154 you mentioned until 157. Yeah,
Yes.
it should be until 160, I believe. Yes, right?
100 and
154 until 160. It should be.
yes, because after I finish it and I ask them to answer the questions.
Yeah, I mean, it means that you haven't checked page 160. They have the science words over there.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
It means that they are considered as the difficult word for the science. Yes, you mentioned as a few like humus, fertile, and so on. Maybe you need to explain again about this before you go to the materials. The science words or difficult words that are found or that are used in this lesson, in this stage of part B, I mean.
Yes.
Okay, continue. What word that you want to explain?
Okay, the first I'm going to explain about composition. Composition is the amount of the matters inside the soils. It can be humus, it made of that animals, the waste of that plants and animals. And then I have next, what's that before? Fertile. Fertile is the ability of soil to let the plant grow well.
Sorry?
Fertile is the ability of the ability the ability to support the soil, to support the plant to grow well. The ability to support the plant to grow well.
Okay.
And then I have humus. Humus is like the organic materials. They come from the that body of the plant and animals. The waste of the animals that were buried over a long period of time.
Okay.
That's the difficult word that I will mention to them.
Okay. Now, what about the thinking cap? Don't you explain first the thinking cap?
Yes.
So this one is, I wonder if the soil in a garden or field change over time.
Yes, after I explain about the difficult word, I go to this thinking cap. But the questions, I wonder if the soil in a garden or field changes over time. Yes, of course, the soils in your garden, in my garden, in everywhere will different over time because of some factors like the climate and then the composition of the soil and the climate and composition of the soil. Over a long period of time, the colors of the soil will change too. When the soil...
So you mentioned about this of course, the soil
Will
the
change
soil will change. The
its color.
soils in a garden field change over time,
Yeah.
and the factors you mentioned about
The climate,
climate and also
the soil composition.
soil composition.
Yeah.
Do you have the theory about this, or how did you get this answer? I mean, like this. You get this one from
The book that I read, the understand from my understanding from the lesson.
I mean, it's mentioned in the book.
Yes, it mentions the book. Here, the explanation is about based on if the composition of the soil is good, so it will affect to the soil.
Continue.
Okay, this question here, how does soil composition affect the plant growth? Okay, as I mentioned before that the soil in your place and the other place will be different. When you see the soil along the river, it will be very. There are many plants that can grow well over there. Meanwhile, we did not water it, and then we give the fertilizers. They can grow wherever you.
This one only, Miss Julia. Just give me the simple explanation about how does soil composition affect plant growth. Only that.
Okay. The composition of the plants, what's the question? How does soil composition affect the plant growth? So the soil has their own compositions. They are like natural composition is from the humus or organic materials from the plants itself, and then from the dead body of the animals. So when the soil get many nutrient from that plant and that animal, so it will next decompose with fungi and bacteria, and it's very good for the soil. So the composition of the soil will rich of nutrient, and it's very good for the plant itself. So the more nutrient of the soil it has, the best plant will be.
Don't you mention about the element to make the plant growth first? Yes, right. The element to make the plant growth, it should be from water, soil, something like that, right? This is called as the deep
Component of the
yes,
the components of
deep
the soil.
explanation, not only from this one, because this one's only mentions about the soil. So after that we will mention soil is one of the element to make the plant grow well. Why? And then you explain.
Okay, because the soil needs the compositions like the
Because the soil is the media, right? This how to say the place
the media that
the
that
place
is needed
for
plants to
this
grow.
plant to grow. Various conditions in the environment affect the formation of the soil. Such condition, you repeat again first. How does soil composition affect plant growth? Why?
Okay. The plants grow well because of the factors of one of the factors of from the composition of the soil. When the soil get best nutrition from that body of the plant itself, and then that body of the animals, and then they will decompose with the fungi and bacteria, and it will make the soil get the best composition when its factors has involved for the soil. So when you plant a plant, and the plant will grow well. So the composition of the soil is one of the factors to let the plant grow well, except watering it and the weather too.
Sorry? So
One of the factors to make the effect of the plant grow well is the composition of the soil. Besides that, there are other things that can make the plant grow
that is
well.
only. Please mention the good composition of soil that can make the plant grow well.
The first, humus or organic materials. The second, water. The next one, I think that the one and only is the humus or the organic materials from the dead plant and dead animals that decompose under the on the soil.
What about that one? Scan this page to watch a video that shows how soil is important for plants. This one is, how do you make it so far?
I play it.
Yes, just play them. Why don't you play it?
There's no loudspeaker. There's no loudspeaker.
Where's the audio? Take the speaker from there. Okay, no need, no. It's okay. So it means that do you always play this?
Yes, of course. After the given explanation, I will show the students, play the students about the supporting video that support these materials.
Okay, next page. What about props in this one? Will you bring the props, and then can you show me the props that will you bring later?
Oh my god. I'm sorry I don't bring the prop, but yesterday I have both the props with the soil.
So this one you will be. I mean, in part A you already brought it.
Yes, of course.
So it means that you will bring it again.
Yes.
What kind of soil?
This is lead soil.
Huh?
One of the type of the soil that we use to have to grow the plants. Loam soil. Loam soil. Loam soil. So loam soil is the best soil that can make the plant grow well because they consist of many materials in it. That's that they compact closely together, and then they have humus and they lack of water. It's not likely that they have amount of waters, and they are the perfect soil that can let the plant grow well. So I bring the red soils.
What about the? Okay. Do you have also the
So later I will bring a fertilizer.
video lesson?
Video. I have the video lessons. Okay.
What about page 156 now, right?
Yes. Okay, in 100, this one, sir.
Yeah.
Here they will do the observations about three materials, and then they will observe the what's that? They will observe the erosions.
Okay.
They will observe the erosions. They will put a container.
What is soil erosion?
Soil erosion means that when there are much of rains, so it will affect to the soil. So the soil will
What is soil erosion in your
Erosion,
understanding?
right? So erosions when the soil get too much water from the rain, so it can cause erosions.
Yeah, what is erosion? I mean,
So erosions when the soil is how to say their structures will looks different. I mean,
no, it's mentioned in the book actually. You didn't read it. Soil erosion is the process by which soil is blown away.
yeah, I mean I want to say like
Blown away.
like this.
All right? From the pattern, blown away from the pattern. So that's why they mix this kind of the activity.
Yes,
Can we make it in the class later?
of course, but not next week. But
Science
cannot,
project.
but cannot next week because
Sure.
Tuesday they are holiday, right? And then Tuesday we have a lecture.
Okay, then what? How do you close these explanations
Okay.
about
So,
this part?
okay. So I make the conclusion. So the conclusion for this part. So about this about the effect of the soil composition. So when the soil rich in nutrients from the humus and then fertilizers and then water, and it will affect to the plant growth. So when the soil is rich in, the more nutrient the soil it has, the better plants we have. So the good composition of the soil can come from the humus or the organic materials, and then the supporting materials like water and the climate itself.
What exercise will you give for the students after you explain this one?
I will make them some exercise. The first, I ask them to answer this question about from the textbook, and then we move to the activity, answer the question for the activity, and to close these materials, I will ask them to do two main tasks for them. They will do the short presentations about these lessons, and the last they will practice or they do the science projects about the soil erosions before.
Please you close this lesson by giving the most important things that students should know or should remember or should comprehend from the lessons that you just explained. What should they have after you explain this one, after they learn this lesson from page 154 until 160?
Okay. To conclude this chapter, I will say them that the soil is one of the most important things they have to learn, because soil is one of the part of the process of the living things, where soil is one of the media to grow plant, in which plant is needed by human or by living things. And then I will explain about the type of the soil. Okay, they are clay soil, and then sandy soil, and then silty soil and loam soil. And I will tell them which one from the four types of the soil is the best soil that is good to plant the plants. This is called as the loam soil because because the loam soil involves the three materials from the type of the soil. And then after that, I will explain about the composition of the soil. The soil itself has its own compositions. The more nutrient of the soil it has, the better plants that we have. So the composition of the soil, it can be from the dead body of the living things, and then they live like the plants and animals.
How do you try to test their understanding after you explain? I mean, beside the exercises, I mean, how do you try to make sure that they have got what you
Explain.
explain?
I will give them a short quiz about these lessons. So if they can answer my questions, and I will give the point for them.
Oral or written?
Orally. I ask the questions and then I ask
Give
them.
me one question, for example.
For example, can you give me the four? Can you mention me four type of the soil?
This one, you just explain?
Yes, sir.
You just explain about that?
Already. Can you mention four type of the soils? And then, can you tell me which one is the soil that is good to make pottery? Okay, and then next, which one of the plants that contains a large amount of water that it loose and it did not pack closely together? That's the question.
Cannot we say like this? My student, can you tell me how does soil composition affect plant growth based on my explanation just now?
Oh, I see.
Yes, and then, but they will answer by closing the book. It means that
yes.
we want to know how far they understood or how far they understand the explanation that you
Yes,
have
of course,
given,
of course.
Miss. All right. So I think that part. But the most important for you is to make sure they comprehend what you explain, at least what you have in the book. If
Okay.
you cannot give the deeper explanation later. And don't forget to use Monica or some resources to support your teaching process. Okay? Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.